forces will give the Jedi his power.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
This is where the fun begins.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Star Wars. My name's Christopher.
My name's Patrick.
And we're like a week away from Andor and celebrations this week. Like it's a good time to be
Star Wars fans, right? Big week.
Yeah.
Big week.
I mean, we're not in Japan. It would have been cool to go. Like it seems like because I don't know about you. I've been watching a lot of the vlogs that people have been pumping out.
I have Tony, Ricky, Jose. Yeah,
it seems very, very cheap out there.
They're having a great time.
The Japanese yen is like, it's a lot. It's like our even our Canadian dollar, which is shit compared to the American dollar. Like we can buy stuff for cheap out there. Like it's too bad I wasn't able to go because it would have been pretty awesome to go.
Tony, when the last one I watched of his, he almost landed on that Nintendo 64 he was looking for, like vintage. But I still don't think he picked one up yet. And he's finding some good prices on stuff. He found that Ocarina in box. I think it was like $34 American. You know, like that's not bad. Like it's not. Probably he thought he might have gotten it a little cheaper, but he's having a harder time than he thought trying to find that one in box, perfect condition. I mean, he might just pick that one. But the one thing I've enjoyed is seeing Jose's videos as well, his vlogs, because he went to like a beautiful temple and the Osaka castle. So just be able to see some of that, kind of just being a tourist through your friend's vlog and just seeing something that like you wish you could be there experiencing it. And I'm sure, you know, it would be great to be with them and doing that kind of stuff. But I couldn't afford that. And like, me going to Japan just for that and not taking the family on a kick-ass vacation like that. That wouldn't float. So, but I'm happy for them. I'm glad they're out there.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Lex to drop her videos. Cause like we haven't seen anything from her yet. She sent us a couple images and stuff, but
I think it's just that, you know, she's doing so much in her time there. Just like you and I probably would like, I want to check out this, I want to check out that. Like, I'd want to see Osaka Castle and stuff like that. That kind of stuff is like right up my alley. I was giving suggestions to Lex, like, see if you can see like a kabuki theater or like have a tea ceremony thing with some, you know, like do stuff like that. Like, dig the culture, get into it, have a good time. You know, come on, how often are you going to get over to Japan and you're with Star Wars Celebration and fans? So like bring it, like dude, have an awesome time.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be fun. But also usually Star Wars Celebration, they have some sort of they're going to show something at Celebration, and I don't know. Like, what do you think they're going to show? They got to be showing the Mando and Grogu trailer because that's been done for a little while now, right?
I think they have. If
like
it's not
a year and a little bit from now, so they got to show a trailer.
The final, like one or two that we'll see, because typically what I think they'll do is they'll show a teaser trailer to them that we won't see for a little bit later. Right.
Yeah. I hope we do see it at the same time.
Maybe I was going to just say maybe they will with Star Wars.com doing their live stream. Maybe we will. That would be exciting. But I'm sure they obviously can get to see it first in a panel or something like that. I definitely would find it crazy with Andor coming up that they wouldn't be able to like show them those first 2-3 episodes, you know, maybe
it'd probably be the first 3. I would think because they're doing 3 a week, right? And they're doing the first 3 on the first day on the 22nd, which is
and I don't know
a week
how
from
they
today.
Do that. Do they just do the panel gets that? Does everybody at Celebration get to see it? Like,
no, I would imagine it's just a panel myself.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then the Ahsoka panel, like I think Lex said she's going to the Ahsoka panel. Like they're probably going to show some behind the scenes stuff because I think they've already started filming that. So
I would love to get a sneak peek of the new Balin. That would be that's going to be a talking point, I think, if they get to
Yeah.
show a nice
And
in
they're probably going to
costume.
show. They're probably going to show Star Wars Visions, Volume 3, because that comes out next month, I think.
I think they need to highlight that. They're in
Yeah.
Japan, right? They've got all the
Yeah.
animators. This is in their hometown. This is like the Super Bowl for them, right? Like, come on.
Yeah.
They have to. I would hope they
Yeah.
did, at least. I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't know. Well, like, what else do you think they're going to reveal there? Like, we've been seeing some of the
Well,
exclusives
the
and
rumors
stuff,
and
like
stuff, like you're
toys
talking
and
about, like a horror film or something like that. That would
yeah.
be kind of cool. Like, I would love to see some kind
See
of,
how Tony Gilroy does that.
if he's the one doing it, I don't know. It could be somebody else, and he just knows about it and kind of thinks like, "Oh, I think there's something in the works with that," with his comment. But who knows? If they did, like the zombie trooper, right? Like I started that before we saw that in Ahsoka, right? And you know that the custom I made, right? And that was based
Mhm.
off book, right? And stuff like
Right.
that. So I thought that could be something, and they could kind of drop that right around Halloween and do something kind of cool, or rather than like a Lego Halloween, they could kind of amp
Yeah.
it up a little bit. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Whatever they do horror, but you know what? There was an episode in Rebels that I think people forget that had that very dark side with that like droid going after Chopper a lot, like the dark. It just had this very hard
Yeah.
creep up, like if they kind of did an angle like that, and then took scenes like from the first Mandalorian season when one of the first 2 or 3 episodes, he's going to retrieve the child and he's going through the compound, and you got the stormtroopers with the light on, the flashlights on the ends of the scopes, searching around, and it just had that kind of eerie feeling.
Yeah.
Also, in was it season 2 where they had that prison break one? I can't remember if that was 1 or 2 where they had the prison break. That had some kind of like sci-fi kind of creepiness to it, like because there was times when like
But it
it would
wasn't
be
full on
dead,
horror.
and then
Like
it would show
a
up out of
full on horror
nowhere.
Star Wars film might be different. I think I could get behind it though.
Yeah, I mean, Aliens is a very great sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
I think they could do
Yeah.
something really, really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool. Maybe something outside the box, like maybe, all that talk with Zendaya could be leading up to something like, what if they did like a horror and it's like night, it's witches, like, but it's not like horror like we think. It's like Night Sisters, and it's, more magic and dark force stuff. I don't know. That would be cool. So who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm a fly on the wall to see what gets revealed. I'm sure so many content creators are gonna like their theories and their minds will be blown, or they're just gonna be like, "Ah," and they're gonna lose their shit and blow up anyway. So I'm excited, for the outcome of what happens, this weekend. I think it's gonna be a big weekend for Star Wars fans. I
Yeah.
know collectors are gonna have a grand old time because now they're getting all those cool celebration exclusives, things like that. So,
Mhm.
like we were talking the Star Wars
Yeah.
Jar
I was
Jar.
gonna say the exclusive for Funko so far, like the first official one, like Funko posted a post, or they made a post about it a little while ago too, and it's that Jar Jar, the glitter Jar Jar, which it's the same sculpt as the one from. It wasn't last year. I think it was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Might have been two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I mean, yeah, I guess it would have been.
celebration.
Yeah, it
It's
would have
this.
been 2 years ago.
I got him an easy reach. It's this
Yeah, it
sculpt
would have
here.
been. Yeah, but that would have been from London
Yes,
celebration. So the
the
last
last
celebration, yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
if you go to Celebration, you get a repeat of this sculpt, button glitter. I
yeah.
don't even think it's well done in the glitter. I think it loses
I
its.
mean, I don't like any of the glitter ones, anyways. Myself,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of that one. I'd rather had if I was going and I had to get an exclusive like that, like I think those those leaked images ones that could be shared exclusives.
I mean,
that
I
would
think they are. I
like
think
that.
they are. I think those are going to be Celebration exclusives, and I think they're going to be like the Galactic Convention exclusives.
Yeah, I'm hoping because those look, and that would make sense, right? Because they're dropping them off. Like,
Yeah.
did I show you? I finished my custom. You know, thinking of
No. Let's see. Let's see that then.
So I am very proud of how my custom came out.
Okay.
And I
Nice.
did a samurai stormtrooper.
So what? So what parts did you use? From which pops?
So all
It's
right,
a
so
stormtrooper head.
stormtrooper head. Now, all right. So the reason I got the stormtrooper heads is because I did
Hmm.
other customs to have an image for 420 day. So I made a custom Cheech and Chong as stormtroopers. Right. So I kind of was able to get a multi out of that. So I did that, and then I took one of those helmets to put on. It was the was it Westworld? It was the samurai pop from Westworld.
Okay.
Took him apart, boiled him, painted him, and then when I had boiled him, when I got his head off, I literally cut and removed the helmet from the head, got him to
Okay.
separate,
Okay.
and then was able to put that helmet back on top.
Yeah. Now, why didn't you paint the
The helmet,
purple color white? Yeah.
because actually, when I photographed it, I wanted it that purpley color because I could easily turn that to a more maroon red. And the idea, I have an image that I already shot. I'm just not pleased with it. But I had like kind of like long blowing grass on a stormy day with an imperial style kind of feudal times Japanese samurai banner, right? Blowing in the, like distressed and blowing in the wind. And I had him kind of in front of all that. It just didn't come out. But the reason I was doing that is so when I did that, so I could change it to match the maroonish red of the banner. So there's a purpose to there's a method
Right.
to my madness.
Method to the madness.
Yeah, so that's why I left
Question
that.
that there's a question in the chat. What have you collected in the past, and how? What have you collected in the past and have now abandoned and veered into new lanes, but still have the older stuff? And would you liquidate to acquire the new hobby? I mean,
That's a good question.
I I I used to collect all the 3 3/4 inch figures. Like I had a bunch of Kenner figures. I used to have like the majority of the episode 1 figures from the Phantom Menace when they came out, like all sealed, all carded. They used to be hanging on my wall, and then it got to be too much, so I sold those off and got into like not larger figures, but just like different larger scale stuff, like um, Funko Pops when they came out, different larger items, like the 3 3/4 inch figures are pretty small, so. But now I'm collecting doorables, which are smaller than those. So I don't know. What about yourself? You've always just been a
Mhm.
Funko guy, right? Or did
I
you? I mean, you do have some stuff stored away that you've told Lex and I about. Like you told us that you have like different figures stored away and stuff.
Yeah, I have some figures. So I have a lot of three and 3/4 like figures.
Hmm.
That I had boxed, like I went for some random ones back in the day because to me I just thought there's more obscure rant. So like I have an Amperu, I have
Yeah.
Biggs from the deleted scene, like a figure. Um, I have two Darth Maul signed. I have a Vader signed by David Prowse, and I have two Vaders signed from that time I got to photograph James Earl Jones and push my wedding back and stuff. So
Yeah.
all that, like, I do have some other stuff, but like, I wouldn't say I just didn't commit to going down that path because at first I was going to go Black Series. And sometimes it's
Hmm.
not like I have regret. Um, I had a purpose to when I started this, because at the time I started like my channel and stuff like that. Um, I had been starting to collect and put the focus on Star Wars Funko, because I had been collecting for a little bit. Um,
Mm.
kind of with the Rogue One wave and the Smuggler's Bounty, like those two kind of things got me sucked in, and then after that, it just started amassing them. Like I got a shelf. The shelf that's now my retro shelf was a shelf that my optometrist asked if I want it, and I said yeah, because I was telling him about my collectibles and stuff, and so he said, "Do you want it?" So yeah. So I had that like by my desk in my office, and then when we moved, I wasn't going to have the space anymore to have that there. So I brought it home, repurposed it. But my collections, kind of just stuck with Funko, and there are other things like I do like the Durables. The one thing that I wrangle myself on is every time I see the Bounty collection, those little Yoda ones, I look for
Yeah.
ones that I like, that I think I could use for a photo, that would work for something um like one that I want to get that I don't have is Grogu peeking out of the Dark Trooper helmet. Like that would be a
Right.
cool one. And if you force the perspective, if you put that closer towards the lens, right? So that would be bigger. And then in the background, back here, you've got like Mando and like a Dark Trooper fighting, right? So, things like that. So that's how I look at sometimes the reason I collect is for that purpose as well.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
like you and we don't like the chromes. Like that's something we don't, we just I have one, no, two in my collection. I have from Smuggler's Bounty, I have a Chrome
The
Vader, which
Vader, the Chrome
yeah,
Vader. Yeah, that's the only Chrome one I have.
yeah, and then the Leia one bought, the gold Leia Celebration one I bought,
Mm.
only because it was right after Carrie Fisher had passed, and I thought it'd be a nice way just to kind of remember her. So I got that one. I thought that was nice. I
Right.
would have rather had a really well done hollow. I think we eventually got that later as a celebration with the hollow of her and R2, but at the time that would have been cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have what do you have in your collection that doesn't fit with the majority of your items, but is cool, like a gumball machine, Mad Balls, what muscle books, map? I mean, I don't have anything that's not Star Wars, so everything fits together. And I think
Yeah,
Patrick, it's the same way, right?
yeah, I have Star Wars. I think
I
I
mean,
really.
if I had the money, like if I had the money in maybe like a separate room, I'd probably collect Transformers.
Oh, yeah. For me, I wouldn't mind having one shelf dedicated to different droids, and I've started to collect different droids from other things to eventually
Yeah.
do like um like I want to get like what's it, Robbie the robot, just little things like
Hmm.
that. I want to get a Twiggy from Buck Rogers. But I got the new droid from Lost in Space, like the new one.
Yeah.
My dad
Yeah. So
has
just
another.
different sci-fi
Yeah, my dad
robots,
has like an
right? Yeah.
original one that he said I can get from him one day. So
Hmm.
I want to do like a little shelf. Like I'd like to get the Iron Giant would be cool to add, right? And to have that kind
Yeah.
of propped up, maybe like sitting like he's hanging off the shelf, kind of his leg hanging off. I could see just having one shelf just with all random droids, including some Star Wars ones in there, like my repro of the original Kenner, R2 that I have. Love
Yeah.
that guy. And that's one that they
Mhm.
did like where the you could have Luke's lightsaber come out his head. So I love that.
Yeah. No, I don't have any 3 3/4 inch figures to give to a new younger owner. I got rid of them years ago. So, uh, Rolando, sup? Hey, Rolando.
Hey, what's up, Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
my
yeah,
collection's mainly just
yeah,
Funko, with a few other random things here and there. Like obviously, when I have my full collection room repainted, redone the way I want
yeah.
it,
And
I'll
you'll
have
pull out some of your
I'm
figures and
gonna have
stuff.
to do a room tour because you're gonna want to see because the stand I need to clean up and convert to a diorama will look great
Mm.
with Ghost on it, and then in the inside of it having the Razor Crest. That's going to be a cool piece that eventually, that's just going to take time to work on because I want eventually. Originally, it won't look like much. It'll just be like an old TV stand, and it'll be cleaned up with these things on there. But as I start to build, I think it's going to look awesome. That's going to be what I'm looking forward to. And I also have a piece that I have to give all the credits to my brother-in-law. The things our family do for us, Star Wars fans, right? My brother-in-law, fucking God rest his soul, he's an awesome dude, man. He walked the length of 6 Mile boardwalk carrying the Han on a tauntaun, like the 12-inch kind of like doll, G.I. Joe doll style.
Mhm.
Dude, the box is huge and it's so cumbersome. He just can't hold it. He's got this on his shoulder walking like a 6 Mile boardwalk with it, like, and did it and had to walk quickly so he could get all the way home so that I can meet up with him later and, like with our kids and families. So like he's kick ass for doing that. And and my
Yeah.
sister has this picture of him and I can see he loves me by the face that he has on because he looks so miserable carrying this thing. And I know people are looking at him on the board like, what's this guy doing carrying this giant tauntaun, thing.
Yeah.
But dude, awesome. That was really cool because there's a really cool collectible store on the boardwalk in Ocean City. There's 2 actually, but one is like a really cool collector store. I think Noah's been there even a couple times. But he goes to the ICCC as well. That the guy who owns that shop because we got talking the one day. But cool stuff, and that's one thing about collecting is you never know what you're going to grow into. Like I would love to have like Hot Toys and stuff like what I mean, like some of those statues and stuff. Some of them are just phenomenal. And me being a photographer, like imagine me photographing like a Hot Toys Obi-Wan Kenobi with that super detail or an Anakin. What I could do with that, and one of the ones that you could pose a little bit. Oh, like that'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I don't own them because they get pretty pricey, and there's a lot of like, and I think to that point, that would lead me, and I'm almost tempted to get like 1 or 2 of those Unleashed, but I know they're so awesome that once I get one or two, and I walk by it enough, the next time I'm at a con, I'll be like, "There's another $30 out of my wallet," because I know I'm going to want to.
Yeah. But they're
And
cool.
I know they're getting harder to find. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people
there was one I actually missed out on. There was one I missed out on because I saw one on Marketplace for the longest time. It was $150. It's a slave Leia on Jabba's barge.
Really?
I missed
Was she
out on that
strangling
one.
Jabba?
No. She's just like posing like I can't remember the pose, but like she's like full slave outfit. Just like the base is like the back of Jabba's barge and stuff. It's a pretty cool one.
Cool.
It's a very rare one. But yeah, I missed out on that one, so
yeah,
that's okay. Eventually I'll find it again.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind like one of the Star Wars Celebration big things is the Cos Baby. Like that was it. I don't know who makes this one. Was it Hot Toys or the other one?
Yeah, I think it's Hot Toys that makes them. Yeah.
Makes the Cos Baby. They're gonna do like their own bobbleheads now, and they're gonna have like a Neo, a Grogu. They're gonna have some really cool ones. Like the Neo one, I love that guy. And they had like Wicket. They had maybe a couple Ewoks. They look great, and they even are going. I'm not quite sure the size, but I think they're even doing like adorables or those mini
mystery minis or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going that size. With some like a whole set of Ewoks. And I'll be honest, their social media promotion for them are awesome. It's like these animated leaves, part ways, some text and font and Ewoks drops down. Dude, and the sound goes well done. And they do it for like each character. I'm like,
as much as I love Funko, as much as I love Funko, they got to take some pointers from these other companies because like they're dropping the ball in so many ways, and it's disappointing.
I agree 100% because I want to write to them and say, hey, like I'd love to work for someone that's going out there and having some really cool, engaging looking promos and ads.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd want to work with. Like that just was so creative and like eye catching. Like that's to me, that's the jazz. That's what I want to be a part of. Like if you're just kind of just doing the same old white seamless and stripping it out, like that's done for catalog and it's necessary in commercial work. But that's all you're doing. If you don't get to do some of the other creative stuff, yeah, it's
Yeah.
meh.
Yeah.
So to me, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. And I'd like to
Yeah.
see Funko step it up. I know they're hiring a photographer because I threw my resume and I got told like, hey, that was really nice, but no. And I was like, what? Right? You kidding me? And I
Mhm.
tried to reapply because it's still available. Like it's still open. So
You
it
got
said
you got to be
get a
like,
code to
I'll
reapply,
I'll move to Everett tomorrow if you need to hire me.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't
So
know.
so another big thing. Revenge of the Sith is back in theaters. I think like I know up here we were able to pre-order our tickets as of
Yes, I
yesterday. I think it
could. I
was.
did not pre-order them.
Yeah.
Because I want to go with a buddy and I want to see what time where because I think if I was
Now have
gonna
you checked your theaters? Like, because we're not getting like the popcorn buckets or anything up here. Like, are
no,
you
no, I
getting?
have an AMC. I don't think they're doing popcorn buckets like the Cinemark ones. No, you have to
Mm,
go to Cinemark or order online to get that. But they're
uh,
not gonna like if I did, they're not gonna allow me to bring that in there to use. And I know that only because when I bought the Minecraft buckets for my son, I bought that in advance and had to leave them there, hoping, right? Like wing and a prayer that someone else doesn't come along, see this little paper written like for Patrick, these three in the cup put aside because there weren't any when my son went to the movie. They're long gone on from opening
yeah.
day.
So do you
Um,
not have a Cinemark near you or no?
no, no, I've got Apple Cinema. I've got
And you said
a
AMC.
yeah.
So
You know,
AMC doesn't. They're not doing any promotion for Revenge of the Sith, eh?
they're not really doing. I wouldn't say a promotion, but not that they're advertising anything like that. They're having screenings and stuff. I might go
Yeah.
to Providence Place because they'll probably have it on like an IMAX kind of screen there. Big screen. So if I'm gonna go, the way I look at it, if I'm gonna go and because I can see it at home, like I don't have to go to the theater. Like I want to go for that enjoyment. And if I'm gonna go, I'm swinging for the fences. I want to see on the biggest screen my eyes could be engulfed in.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't mind the popcorn bucket. So
I'd love it
they're not
because
doing
it's a
anything up there.
it's not a plastic one, it's tin. And the last tin
Yeah, it's
bucket
10.
I got was Rogue One. I have a nice Rogue One.
See, I didn't get the Rogue One. I got a couple from the Force Awakens that I found on Marketplace, and then I got a couple from the Rise of Skywalker because we got them up here. A couple ones. So
Yeah, the Rogue One's
uh,
nice. Like I think when
yeah.
I work this rework the room, my plan is this is in my head, and that's why I want to get one of the Cinemark popcorn buckets because what I want to do is make them like the planter pot for a fake tree or plant that I could put down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have that as the container, the pot,
Yeah.
if you will.
That'd be cool.
You
That'd be
know,
cool.
so
Yeah.
that was my thought.
Hmm. Yeah. But you are gonna go see it while it's in theaters, though, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Come on, you can't miss it, and it's Revenge of the
Yeah. It
Sith.
comes out.
It's
I think
pretty
it comes
epic.
out next weekend. I think it comes out
Yeah,
next weekend. So I'll
no, the
probably either
24th.
see it the
The 24th.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
next week. It
next
is next
Thursday.
weekend.
Next
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah. So I'll probably I don't know. I'll have to see if I can get either tickets for Thursday or on the Monday or Tuesday because next weekend I have Calgary Expo I'm going to, so I'm gonna be busy those days.
Yeah, I was
I'm
looking.
gonna
It's
be
like a
busy the
3
Friday,
o'clock.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, in Providence
Yeah.
AMC, it was like the Providence Place. It was like a 3 o'clock, and then like a 6:30, and then after that, and I was like, I want to go at 3. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Do I get that hyped up at 3 in the afternoon? I mean, that's the only thing that probably could get you that hype. Star Wars, right? So, do I do that, or do I do like 6:30? Like, yeah, get pumped up, go home, do some videos, do some shooting or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Star Wars in a theater is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I'm looking forward to the Mandalorian and Grogu next year, right? Because
You and me
back in
both.
theaters, right?
It's an experience, it's that full sound experience that engulfs
Mhm.
you, and surrounded by it. Like, that's the one thing I loved about the universe. And
Yeah.
I personally hope, as we continue forward, that we just make it expansive again, because I think we've gotten to the point of where everybody's related to everybody. Like, I love that there's more lineage now to connect those, because I think what we have, that Luke Skywalker family saga that we've had, that should be like the origins, right? We're going back now, the prequel with the real origins of the Force. Super cool idea. We
Mhm.
kind of had the Acolyte, which was kind of that High Republic prior to what we have. So I think when you're doing those new Rey and going forward, let's make it expansive. Let's get some, things that we don't know, we've never heard of. Bring it, like, go there. Let's see what happens. That's what I
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
like, because you have to do something, or eventually it's going to tire out. You can't just keep this franchise on the same three, original characters. They're dying off. They're getting older. We got to do something. And I think just continue with Ray isn't the way to go. I think that at this point, she even just wants to kind of do a torch passing, right? Like, I don't
Well,
want to
that's
be,
what they're doing in the next trilogy. Is that they're doing a
yeah, I
torch
don't want to
passing?
necessarily be locked into it, but I want to pass the torch and be a part to get it over there, and then let them be.
Mhm.
Like, I would love to see somehow characters from the Skeleton Crew in future projects, and I believe the
I'm sure
director.
they will.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will be.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping, sure.
Yeah. Another question from the chat: Where have you found something in your collection that you never expected to find? One for sale in a place like that, like a barber's grocery store, small town gas station, yard sale. I mean, I picked up a like a Lay's potato chip display. It has Qui-Gon Jinn on it, and it's for like the cards you can get at one point. I got that at a flea market,
I
like an
got
outdoor
my
flea market.
Yeah, I got my Play School style toy
Yeah, yeah. Your
at
AT-AT, you're at,
yeah,
yeah.
I got that from Marketplace, like,
Hmm.
randomly. Like, I
Yeah, there's
just
a
kind of
lot. You find a
saw
lot
it.
of unique stuff on Marketplace for sure.
And that was something I got, I wanted for an image. That was like, oh, I want that would be,
Mm,
I could get one of those, because I remember seeing them, you know, in toy stores before, like, when my kids are young, and he wasn't, even ready for that stuff yet. So, um,
yeah,
and that time passes, and those toys, they don't sell in the stores now. So you're like, oh, I remember seeing this
yeah.
thing.
I found a lot of stuff on Marketplace or like even like collector conventions and yeah,
I found one of my favorite pops at a randomly on vacation up in Jack's. I was in New Hampshire, but I happened to stop in, like, Jackson, Vermont, and stopped at
yeah,
a Walgreens, and that's where I found the medical droid, because I have never seen him in the
yeah,
wild. But that there is one on that shelf, and I was like, uh, I'm not ale. I don't need anything here, guys, but I'm buying this for myself. Like, I didn't,
hmm,
you guys get a drink,
yeah,
whatever you want. I'm getting this. So
yeah.
that was random.
What do you use to display your collection? Specific brand and model or measurements? What's the budget? Where do you get it in your use? I mean, I use the IKEA Billy bookcases on this side, and then the D12 cabinets on this side. They're discontinued now. I think are they discontinued in the States as well?
I don't know. I don't have the detail. So, but there's a lot of
Yeah,
people that make stuff specifically for them. So that would be,
yeah, but they phased them out. They switched them out, and
they
they're
probably
really
have a
cheap
newer
and
version of it, right?
they're cheap looking. They're cheap looking. They feel cheap. They're all made out of like this thin, shitty metal, like
Oh,
really thin metal, and yeah, instead of the wood on the top and the bottom. So like they're
oh,
not
that's
as good.
fun.
So I actually have to look for the D12 cabinets on Marketplace or whatever.
Mm.
But the I think the Billy bookcases you can still get at IKEA. But, I mean that's pretty much what I use.
That's what these are behind me are IKEA Billies, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I have 4 in the other room. I've got 4 Target knockoff versions of these. They're
yeah,
just a
yeah. They're
little
probably the
shorter,
same.
a
They're
little
probably the
less wide.
same one. The probably the same knockoff ones that Walmart has too. I would imagine.
Yeah, they're slightly thinner and slightly shorter. They're
Yeah,
not bad. They look fine. They're just white, right? So
yeah,
they look
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I like the Billy, but I think what I might eventually do too, as I work my room, I might end up doing some corner ones and stuff like that too, and kind of go around. Um,
yeah. That'd be cool.
we'll see.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
always moving and changing and needing more. As
Always evolving.
a collector, you
Yeah,
need more space, right? You're always needing more
yeah,
space.
yeah.
So for me, it's eventually cleaning up the boxes from the
Right.
pops, right? Like literally just get rid of them. Because what I've been doing is taking the boxes and boxing them up and putting them away. But
Yeah,
as you grow, you just knock a bunch out, you're like, woo! Then you open a few more boxes. At the end of a
yeah.
month, you're like, man. So I just gotta get,
So how excited are you for Andor? Because Andor comes out next week, next
pumped, man.
Tuesday, right?
Pumped. I've been doing a series, as you're aware, of
Yeah,
Andor images leading up to the premiere. So my final image. So I'm gonna publish 2 others. Um, that I've already they've been shot. I didn't do really much with them, but I think I had maybe posted a long while ago. No one really any hype, but I had like a Velsartha and an Andor and a B2 emo. I might just kind of pump those out, just republish those again in the next right
mm,
after this last one. Because I don't want to take away from the hype of the series that I've been working on. Like here's a different image this week, here's a different one.
mhm.
So we've done both Kino Loy and Andor in the prison outfits, which
Yep.
from the One Way Out arc. We've done Saw Gerrera. We've done Orson Krennic. We've done whatchamacallit, K2SO. And the last one's gonna be Marva from this new
Nice,
wave. Very pumped.
nice.
I was thinking of shooting Luthen, but like honestly, the only reason I haven't shot that one because I don't have it in my heart to shoot something that right off the bat you're gonna be like, "Who's that?"
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
visually, that's the only
Visually, yeah,
right. And I so he is literally just a collection piece, but not one that I could find me. And I think eventually it would be the lighting and the mood of the image I create that would eventually sell that image of that pop. But that
yeah,
pop, that character is unrecognizable if you just take an image and put it in front of somebody. Like
yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean? There's
yep,
nothing dynamic about it enough that I'd
yeah.
be like,
Like you
oh,
and I know who it. You and I don't would know who it is if we saw an image of it, but that's about
exactly,
it.
because we're Star Wars fans and
Yeah,
Funko fanatics. So like those 2 reasons are the only reason we'd know that, right? That's the only.
yeah.
So that's why
But
it doesn't make it on my radar at all.
yeah,
I'd rather go back and shoot like a new B2 emo image or something like that, again, before
yeah,
I shot that. You know what I mean? That's where I'm
hmm,
at with that character. I'm like, do I really want to waste the time?
yeah.
So, but I am
Um,
pumped. Andor, very
yeah.
pumped.
Like, what do you think is going to happen? Because, like, what are some of your predictions? Because there was in the trailer, there was the little clip of Deidre getting. It seemed like she was getting force choked. So I think Vader's going to show up.
I
Vader
don't
has to
think
show up.
so. All right, I don't think that's a force choke. I think that's her stressing out because she's having a little piece
No.
of having that kind of first hand in the mix of rebellion, right? So I think that's affected her, and I think she's feeling the pressure of what like the rebels are coming back because right now they're nothing. Like right now in Andor, they're nothing. Like they're not. They're like out there doing missions like Rebels were, Star Wars Rebels, right? The Phantom Crew. They're out there doing their own missions, not knowing anything else is going on because nothing else is really going on. There's a few other things, you had Saul Guerrera's faction, which to me kind of reminds me of like the IRA and stuff like that. Like the freedom fighters, they might be looked at more terrorist than rebellion, from Mon Mothma's, perspectives and stuff. They're a little more extreme. They're more extremist, right? And you have the other faction. So like I find that all coming together. It's going to be hitting every time because every 3 episodes we get packed in that week is a year, and it's leading us right up to what the beginning of Rogue One. Dude, it's going to hit hard. Like I'm sure just from the trailer piece I saw, you got Mom Mothma dancing. Obviously, it's got to be her daughter's wedding.
Yeah,
I think I'll be letting off some steam.
I think that is a force choke though, because like you look at her and she's like grabbing her like I think it's a force choke, man. I think Vader is upset about something that she's done. Maybe
that would be cool. I don't think that.
Maybe she's in cahoots with Cyril, right? And they're both.
Yeah, I do think we're going to lose Luthen. I think Luthen's gone.
I think Luthen will be gone. I think
he's gone.
I think Dedra will be gone. You got it. Like I would think most of them will be gone.
I think Bix is.
Yeah, you would think Bix.
And that's gonna push him more. That's gonna push Andor harder.
Yeah, Bix
and that might happen right before.
She's still alive.
Happen right before the end, leading up to Rogue One, but gives Andor because remember that whole interaction with Jin, he was really. There's this angst with those characters at first, and it really took a lot to the end, right? So I think what we might get is more character development. The reason there's that push and shove against the two of them so much because he just lost Bix, somewhat recent, and we'll find that event. I think that's, to me, that would make perfect sense in why that character was like that, that very mistrusting, and he had to be, but like, who's this girl questioning my decisions? I've been doing this for, you know what I mean? So I think we're going to see that push. And I think that's something Gilroy's been doing really well with the series is that, pressure building really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Gorham, I definitely think that's Gorham. Like everybody's calling out. I definitely think that's going to be Gorham.
The Gormon massacre.
I do not think we're going to see a ship crushing people though. I don't. I think it's going to be played out differently, and some fans, that'll be the spark that ignites this next, controversies. They changed it, it's Tarkin's Star Destroyer landing on the people. I don't think they're going to do that. That would be freaking crazy if they did, but I just don't think that's
happening. You never know.
I do but rumors, there are other rumors that we see the character Biggs get assaulted. And that, in a way, and that eventually she will have the opportunity to confront those that did that. So,
yeah,
I don't know what that is. Do we say like, does that happen, or do we allude to whatever happened that we saw in Andor when she was kept prisoner? Did they do something to there that she alludes to now? Like they did a lot more than just put those screaming, dying children in her head for hours. They did, maybe they did more. We don't know. But the rumor is we might get something a little more edgier to the Star Wars galaxy.
The Ki Mundi of season 2.
Right. Correct.
Have you ever repurposed and renovated older shelving or dining room china cabinets that are usually free on classifieds because nobody wants them? I haven't, no. But I mean, like if you have that talent to do that, yeah, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, I haven't. I haven't even had the time to redo my TV stand that I want to make into one diorama.
What about fan servicey stuff? Like, do you think we're gonna get any big cameos?
All right. I saw a trailer today, and I could have sworn I saw Jen Erso on it. I'm not no BS.
Was it a fan made? Was it a fan made trailer though?
No, I think I was on the star. I was like StarWars.com, like on during work. I was checking it out just to see because I think I wanted to see something the dates. And I thought something like Rayside was like Star Wars, celebration is going to start in 2 minutes. I'm like, huh? I think she must have dropped the video early and thought the timing of it was going to land differently, maybe when she posted it or had it scheduled. I don't know because I know she's probably going over there. But yeah, it was obviously there's nothing starting today. It doesn't start to the 18th. So I don't know. What's your thought?
I mean, I hope we get some fan servicey stuff like that. That's exactly what it is. It's meant like the fan servicey stuff. Like it's for us fans to keep us happy, right? Like I don't care if they
Like
they
I'm
give
saying,
us
like
these big cameos.
no, it'd be cool, but like who do you, if you see? I'm drawing a
Okay,
blank.
so
Like who would you
I
think?
I,
Like there's
I
other
think we
characters.
like I think it's possible. Like yeah, the Ghost Crew could show up. Like you got to think in Rogue One, the Chopper had a small cameo. So like I feel like you could see like Hera, Syndulla, and Chopper.
Zeb.
Because I mean, yeah, maybe Zeb. Like you already have the actors to play them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Sabine. I don't know. I don't know if you'd see Sabine, but like you'd probably see Hera. You'd probably see Hera. You could probably see Zeb. How crazy would it be if you got like a Leia?
That'd be cool. I don't think we will. I think they're going to
No.
save that for that surprise in Rogue
Yeah.
One. I think you can't take.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. And when I'm looking at like continuity, and if you do that, then it takes away from that. So I wouldn't fuck with that. But I know
Because like
some
we haven't
people
had
say
a
in
we
Ahsoka,
haven't
they
had
can see
a Leia
Ahsoka.
appearance in a while. Like we've had a couple Luke Skywalker appearances in the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. Like we haven't had a Leia appearance in a while, and like
Yeah.
she's around during this time, right? Like
I mean, what if we got
she was name dropped. She was name dropped in Rogue One. She was name dropped in um the Ahsoka series, right? So like why
yeah?
couldn't she like she could show up? It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
I think if we see anything here that would be cool connective tissue wise would be something that would lead to kind of what was alluded in Kenobi with the path. Like
Yeah.
eh, something with the Saj or something like that would be kind of neat.
It would be neat, but I don't
I was
know
thinking
if
about
that would.
what if we got like
I
an
don't know how
Emphas
that would
net?
connect to the story though. Like I don't know if that would connect to the story. Emphas Nest maybe because like we know she wanted to start the rebellion, right? Like help start that. So maybe she shows up somewhere, right?
That could be
Or
kind of cool.
yeah, or
Someone that you wouldn't expect, but like would make sense, right?
yeah.
That's what
Like
I'm
I
thinking.
don't know if like Asajj would being in it would make sense. Omega though, Omega could show up, right? Like
That could be
she went
cool.
off to that
That
could
could be
make that would
cool.
make sense. That would make sense, and that could be cool,
Yeah.
right? Like I said, like Hera being working with some of the rebels, that would make sense. Her showing up, Leia being on Yavin 4, that would
Like
make
I'd like to
sense.
maybe a Bail Organa could, be a good one,
Yeah, that would make sense too. Bail Organa, right?
because he was, the continuity. You had him in Rogue One, you had him in Kenobi, so that would work. That would work.
That would make
Um,
sense, right?
but would that necessarily be a cameo or something you would kind of almost expect it where we are in the story,
I mean, I
right?
guess that one you would expect it, but like I think of Leia would be a cameo, right? That would be a good
That would be cool.
some
But
fan
again,
service.
yeah, I don't know who else could you get that would be like, yeah, like what if we got a Hondo appearance?
I don't know. I don't know how that would make sense though.
You get him working the
Yeah, that's what I
smuggle.
said. Hera. That's what I
Hera
said.
makes
Hera.
sense.
Hera would make sense. Zeb would make
Because I could
sense.
see that like on a base, right? Them passing on a
Yeah.
base, something like that.
Yeah.
But I am curious, just from the trailer, where you have the partisan style X-wings taking off in
Yeah.
an other
What
ship
about
in the middle.
Palpatine? You think we're gonna get Palpatine?
That could be a
Like
possibility.
that would make sense. That would make sense. We
That-
see the Senate, right? We see Mon Mothma talking in there.
I think if we do, it'd be him condemning her, right? And
Yeah.
if we get that, I don't think they'll just do that. We might get like another kind of not a behind the scenes, but more context. Like there's something going on behind the scenes that we'll see with him as the Emperor,
What about Tarkin?
giving orders or something, or talking to Vader or somebody about crushing this rebellion. I think
Yeah.
we could get something with that.
What about
You know.
Tarkin? Tarkin would make sense.
Tarkin, a lot of sense to see Tarkin.
Here's another one that could make sense. Thrawn.
No, I don't think we'll see Thrawn. I don't.
They have the actor already. They have the actor. He's done live action already. Like why wouldn't he be maybe on at some meeting with Palpatine and Krennic and I just mentioned the guy's name, Tarkin. Maybe he's like, no, let's not do the Death Star. Let's do something different, right?
Maybe if
Like
anything,
he
it's
could
a
be
hollow.
policy, and it would make sense.
If anything, it's a hollow. It's not. You're not going to see
it
like
could be a hollow.
character.
Well, I mean, you never know.
Thrawn would be a hollow. I'll bet money on it. If
You
see
could
Thrawn,
you
it's
could
hollow.
you could do him in person.
You could, but I don't think
Like I
they
said, in
will.
an imperial boardroom with Tarkin and
Yeah, only he could be talking about. Well, see, he wouldn't even be talking contingency because this is earlier than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't think he thinks the Rebel Alliance is that much of a threat until these events start building and building. Like, and then it becomes a problem, right? Because at the first Death Star, that's when it becomes a real problem.
Yeah.
But they're aware of the Rebel Alliance at that point, right? So there's got to be more in that 3-year buildup of them arming and going after them, and so I don't know. Something I was wondering if that is not Lothal, that'd be interesting. But if it was Lothal, we might get a real life cameo from the guy. I can't remember the character, but he's played a bunch of different characters in Star Wars. But he was the mayor when you saw in Ahsoka when they're on Lothal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I don't think it's Lothal though. I think people were saying it was some other planet.
It could be somewhere else, but I think if it was Lothal, that would make sense. You have a cameo of him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Other than that, I'm really not sure because we've seen like Two Tubes and Saw Gerrera. We know we're going to get more of that story, so I'm not sure
there you go.
what other things would enter that.
Thrawn is in the ISB like Yularen in season 1, so I can see that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I don't think too many other I think they're really trying to just nail what they already have enough. Like you can't keep adding more. Like
So,
the serial story is almost kind of whacked, right? To me, I don't really care for his story, but it must have some build up with Deirdre. That's the only reason they'd have this character at this point because he is non-essential for me to care or watch anything about. Like, and it's not the actor's fault. I just find it like I don't care about his character. Like, I don't. I just he does a good job for me to not care about him because he's just a little turd. So he does a great job at playing that character to make you feel like that. So I don't see anything more to really caring except for his character's got to be pivotal in the Deirdre story. It's the only reason. So
yeah. I think their story. I wouldn't be surprised if they have some sort of romance.
Yeah, I think it might build to that, and maybe because of the Rebel Alliance, if something happens, one of them loses something, and there's a come to Jesus moment maybe for one of them. I don't know, but like I would think that there's I wouldn't think that they plan this for nothing. Like there's got to be some story that's going to pay off.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm sure
I'm
there
very
is.
excited. Very excited. Like
Yeah,
the promos and stuff have been pretty awesome. Like the little trailers and stuff. Love it.
yeah, yeah.
Love it.
I also hope that this time at least merchandise is out
It'd be
relatively
nice.
soon
Hey, did you
after,
see?
right?
Do you watch Jimmy Kimmel? Do you watch Jimmy Kimmel at all?
From time to time,
They had Diego Luna on. I don't know if you caught it. It was pretty
I didn't
funny.
catch that. No.
So he talks about going through the air because he's like, oh, did you ever, you know, did you take anything from the set? And he's like, well, when I was done filming, Andor, they gave me, like a blaster. And he's like, oh, you didn't just take it. He goes, oh, no, no. He's like, when I did Rogue One, like, we were talking that something might come up again. And so, I know, no. He's like, but, at the end, they presented me with this, really awesome blaster. Everything. He's like, so I'm flying home. He goes, and I have it wrapped up and stuff, to keep it protected. This is a movie prop and everything, I want to protect it. But I was going through security and they stopped me. And when they're going through my stuff, they see this, they all jump back, like, whoa, what is that? And he's like, oh, dude, that's a Star Wars. I'm in in the movie, in the show, and see me holding the blaster in this scene, and like, he is showing the pictures to let him off the hook. Like they thought, like whoop whoop, get the popo, get the police in here. So that luckily that didn't happen for him. So it was just a funny story, though. Could you imagine having explained why you're coming home with a Star Wars blaster?
Right?
Right? Because it's not like you're coming from a Disney theme park and it's obviously a plastic blaster. That's the point he was making. It's heavy, it's metal, it's well constructed. It looks like there's switches and stuff on. He goes, you're like, what is this? Is this a weapon? Like you'd understand. And not knowing who he was just kind of didn't help the situation.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a funny story. That was funny.
Yeah. No, I'll have to check that out. But I am excited for it. It's next week. 3 episodes.
Yeah, man.
We're getting a movie. We're getting a
Are you
movie
gonna
a
be doing
week.
reactions?
No.
I'm not. So I won't have to worry about the sleepless nights like those that do the reaction
No,
videos.
I tried doing reactions on my channel myself, and they don't get the best views. So it's like I'm not gonna put effort into doing it.
Yeah, I'm not big enough that
it's not
anyone's
worth it.
caring to see my reaction. So
Yeah, it's not worth it. So
Yeah.
I'll enjoy it as a fan. Eric and I will probably talk about it on Wednesday nights when we do Rebel Rewind. So
That's perfect.
And then we'll talk about it like the following week when we get together and talk about it and speculate what's going to happen in the 3 episodes that we're getting for the week. So,
oof, I am so pumped though. I am super pumped
yeah.
because I don't think they've really showed us much in the teasers.
No, I don't think so.
So, and most of that's probably coming from like 3 episodes, like the first week. So, I'm sure it's going to be explosive. Yeah, I think it's going to be explosive.
But we're getting a movie a week for 4 weeks. So,
yeah, I'm excited. I am excited, and I'm excited for some announcements for Celebration. Like I'm excited.
Yes.
It's an exciting time to be seeing some things popping off, and then leading into May 4th. And you're at the height, like if you're coming back from Celebration, right, you're coming off like the ultimate high, and then you're going to some other cons to get that dopamine rush again, I'd imagine. So I know I'm excited to meet up with you in Niagara Falls Comic-Con. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, at the end of May, that'll be fun.
Getting more and more pumped.
They haven't announced any more Star Wars guests, but I do.
Only 2. Only the 2.
Yeah. So I'll be getting autographs from both of them, Daniel Logan and Warwick Davis, and then I'll get the photo op with Warwick Davis, I think.
What pass did you end up getting? Did you just do the
3-day deluxe?
The 3-day deluxe? You didn't do like
it's cheaper than doing it. No, it's cheaper than doing the single days. Like, cause like I'm only going to be there for the Friday, Saturday. And so the 3-day deluxe is cheaper than doing individual days for the 2 days. So
why? Why are you going to be there Sunday?
Because I fly out early on Sunday.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
So, yeah,
I got to get all that stuff planned out with you. So that probably means I'll be
yeah,
leaving early.
yeah, probably. So,
All right, I'll
but
figure
I
that out.
mean, there's a couple of collectible stores, and like there's one if our flights like my flight's early enough. If you can get an early enough flight, maybe there's one like that's in Toronto that we can go check out before we go to Niagara, and then there's a couple in Niagara we can check out on
All right,
Friday before we go to the con. So
I'm up for that. I'm up for that.
yeah,
I'm hoping I find a grail that like something that I've wanted for a while. Like while I'm there,
yeah,
that would be epic. Like if I could find like Dula Mustafar Funko Pop, and it was for a good
yeah,
price. Like, yeah, that would be a good score
yeah.
for me. I'd be pumped.
Now, are you getting another book printed beforehand? Because you said you don't have any Ewok images, right?
No, I
No
have
Ewok,
Warwick.
no.
I don't have young Boba.
Oh, so
I've got
are you
Boba.
getting another
I
image
have
and get a
Boba
book made?
images. Well, I don't know. I don't think so because I've got Warwick and I've got Boba, and it's even though it's young Boba, he could sign. I've got many Boba images. He can sign one of those.
It's not the same though.
I know. I know. I don't know. We'll
It's
see.
not the same.
You think I should shoot young Boba? Get when I do? We'll see.
Well, like what Boba images do you have?
I've got Boba from Empire Strikes Back with the Carbonite. I've
Yeah,
got
so like you can't really have him
no,
sign
not
that.
that one. I've got. Oh, that's a good question. I've got a dude. I've shot a lot of Boba. Now I did shoot a newer Boba, but it's Tamara Boba for sure. Like that, I wouldn't
Yeah,
have that. I wouldn't do that. But it's I'm like blanking now on what Bobas I got. Um. So yeah, I've got the Boba that's Tamara Morrison.
hmm yeah,
I've got. I'm scrolling all of them now. Okay, I've got Boba Retro image where he's
yeah,
blasting
yeah.
off. That's not bad. I know I've got what I have a Boba that I did with one of my Galaxy Edge backgrounds. So I've got a Boba, the Christmas one. I wouldn't have him sign that. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I've
I
got
guess you don't have to do a full second book. Like, just get like a print off an 8x10, like print off two 8x10 images. Get him to
uh,
sign one for you, and then you give him one as a gift.
yeah, I don't want to just have something floating around. I might just the gift might be something I do. I wouldn't mind doing that.
No, but I mean, like, if you start printing off images rather than the book, you can get books to put the 8x10 images in.
I was thinking of doing something a little different. So I was thinking of doing like a small little mini book to then give
Yeah,
them. So what I want to do is purposely do one that would have an image that would include the two characters that I'm going to get signed that day, as well as others, and present them with one like a little keepsake. I thought that'd be kind of cool.
yeah,
But like
yeah. Well,
small
you gotta get on it.
paper.
You know, you got a little over a month to get that done, man.
Yeah, we'll see what we pull off. We'll see. But I have the one with Wicked in it anyway. Like this book here.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose you can get him to sign the retro Boba image.
What did I? You know what? I
There's
don't
this
think I did. I don't know if I even printed that in the book. Hold
the
on.
Wicket. No,
No,
for some
definitely got
reason I
Wicked.
thought you said you didn't. Oh,
No,
you
I
do.
definitely have Wicked in there. Oh, I do have Retro Boba in there. I have Retro Boba.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could get him to sign that. It's just not the same as signing like an image of his own pop, right? Now that he has his own Funko Pop.
Yeah. What is that one? Yeah, that. Oh, so I have Tamara Morrison, like Boba, and then Empire Boba.
Yeah,
Oh man, I'm like, yeah, because I have a lot of malls too.
Yeah.
But I do have Wicket and Bret Hupp. I don't know if he played Bret Hupp or not,
No, I don't think he did.
but I have both of those. So that'd be cool. But
Yeah.
I could try to squeeze out another book in time. We'll see. We'll see. Because the other thing to get that is I usually get killed on the pages. So
Yeah. Or like I said, just do the little 8x10 images, and then you get like a book like I got. It's small, and you can like you get one of these, and you put your images in them, right? Like you put your images in there, right? So
yeah, no, see, I don't want my images just loose. I don't want that because if I'm going to have a loose image, it's going to just be a mixed tile of some sort, something I can hang and display.
no, but
Because
like once you're autographing, it's fine.
yeah,
I think.
I'm just going to do the book. That was the whole inspiration to do them. Is to eventually shoot characters that I could get them to sign
Yeah,
in the book. That'd just be cool.
but
So
I mean, if
I
you're
will
worried
do
about
another.
like, if
I
you're
just
worried
don't-
about the time and stuff, like
Yeah, and if I end up trying to budget myself, I might not get Daniel Logan. I might just get Warwick's.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I think it'd be. I don't know. He's getting older. You know what I mean? Daniel Logan, he's gonna be around for a bit. I don't think he's a reckless character or anything. Like he's not like rock climbing, free of rope or anything like that. So I think he's gonna be around a
yeah,
little while.
yeah,
Davis, on the other hand, he's getting older.
yeah,
And I'd love to at least get his autograph and to meet him. That would be cool. That'd be really cool.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love to meet Daniel Logan. I might. We'll see. We'll see how much I can pull off here for that. But I'm
I
getting
mean, you can
excited.
just go up and talk to him. You can just go up and talk to him.
I think the thing is, if they don't announce any other Star Wars folks, I think I probably will do both because I'm not going to get any other signatures, right? Like who else? I'm not going for any wrestlers or anybody from any of the other IPs and movies and franchises. Those are the only two I'm caring about.
Yeah, yeah, because they really haven't um announced anyone else, really, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing their setup, like their Star Wars display.
Oh, like the
that they
501st display.
Well, yeah, that they made a post on Instagram. I think you sent it to me that they were gonna have like a big display. Like it wasn't even like the 501st, just like a Star Wars display like
Area.
they've done in the past. Yeah, Star Wars
I
area.
I hope so for some good photo ops. That'd be super cool. Super
Yeah,
cool.
well, I know. I don't know if it was last year. It might have been last year. They had like a full size Rancor there,
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be
right?
awesome.
Like, how cool would that be?
We've got to do
Yeah,
something. We got to figure out when we're there.
I'm
We've got
looking
to
at the
record something.
guests. I mean, are you gonna do any of the Ninja Turtles and get like anything signed
I
by?
might for him. It depends. Like, I think for me, just to go get it, like, I'm not going to have that connection with them. And I think
Right.
to me, and honestly, and I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass about cons and stuff. I think it's about the fans meeting their fandom, right? And other
Yeah.
fans, right? So just as I'm excited to meet you because this fandom got us to be friends and do this, right? And we're finally going to see each other. I think that's what cons do. They bring that. And I don't want to ruin that experience. And I look at it from this perspective. I don't want to ruin the experience of my son going to the con again, any con, and not be able to get that signature himself and have that interaction. And
Right. Right.
and on that same side of the coin, I think what kind of interaction am I giving to that actor or that character, the person that played that character or whatnot? If I'm going up just to get a signature and I don't really give a shit. You're right.
Yeah.
Like I would give a shit only because it's for my son. But then what's that interaction? Is that an interaction that he would really be like, yeah, that was a great interaction with a fan? Or would he rather have that with my son who, you saw when he got to meet the last two, he was just like, so I think I don't want to ruin that for both the guest as well as my son. And then my son, I was thinking about it because I asked him, "You want me to take your Ninja Turtle?" And he's like, No, I don't think you need to do that. I was like, okay. I said, how about a Sonic? Because the guy who voices Sonic the Hedgehog is going to be there. He's like,
Yeah.
He's like, but I don't know, maybe some. So I don't know if I see something. What I thought of, if I see something cool there, Sonic, maybe I'll pick something up.
Maybe buy him something. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd get a piece. Like the one thing that he enjoyed about the last con is we're going around. There's a guy that does really cool artwork, and he did stickers and stuff. So I'd look for like an artist that did maybe some really cool Sonic artwork and have them sign that. So it would be something he can hang and like display. I think he'd like that more.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Don't take the photo op and the autograph experience away from your son.
Right. And not even that, it's also to the guest that's there. Like, I don't want to be some drone taking up a line to get someone to sign something. I get it for my son, right? You do anything, but it's not like he's not going to have the time or experience to ever meet these guys, right? Like, this is kind of neat because a lot of them are going to be there, but they're also from that older movie that he really wasn't into, right? Because, that was like even after I was old enough, to have kids, that had already released. So this is long after that. So
Yeah.
I think for me, I just rather, and I don't want to take up the line for those that want to see them, like those kids, like my son, or other fans that are our age that would want to meet the voice actors and stuff. I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to waste anyone's time, whether or I just don't. That I don't think was what a con is, because I think as a fan that I get pissed when there are those people getting shit signed just for resale. They don't care. There's no, it's just basically signed. Like that to me is not what a con's about. And if they wanted to do that, they should have a separate time, like where that actor or guest or celebrity is coming to, and as they arrive to check into that con, they might have a time like, okay, you sign X things like this, so that those people aren't taking up the lines and making the experience better for all involved in the experience, because they're not going for the experience, they're just going for resale, and that's kind of bullshit. That's not what in my opinion, that's not what that's the least thing I enjoy about a con is people doing that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I get it. They paid their, 100 to whatever, a couple $100 to get their, got it. Roger that. But like, I think again, the con is for the experience of being able to spend a few moments with that person, share a little bit about you or what you enjoyed about the fandom and them, and have that connection, because you don't get that often. And dude, I went to one con and I feel this strongly about that connection of community and fandom. It's a good point for it. And I think you don't want to just kill it with selling stuff and getting stuff to resell. Like the same thing. I love vendors, but I don't want to see, like, I want my local toy vault to be there. Like I like to see them at Rhode Island Comic Con. I don't want to see, I don't know, Dippin' Dots, on the floor at Comic Con. Like there's a food area or something, you know what I mean? Or like I saw something random at the con. It stood out. Like it was like pools, like pools. Like that's more for a home show. Like just something random like that was there. And I was like, no, that is not what it's about, people. So I think that there's certain things like that a con should be. It's that perfect balance between artists, vendors, like a Hasbro, things like, so it's not just all that, and you don't get the artists and stuff, because I really enjoy that. I think there's that good mix. And I know there's the other people that enjoy that whole cosplay bit, which I'm not huge into. I'm gonna eventually get my TIE fighter finished, because I didn't finish it for that last con, but hopefully maybe I'll get a little more done by November. We'll see. I'm also thinking about the things to do with it than what I originally thought. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah. But I think that'll do it for this episode of Let's Talk Star Wars. We'll next week, yeah, Andor season 2. So we'll be chatting that a bit, and
Yeah.
Lex
that'll
will be
fun.
back, so we can ask her about Japan and celebration. We'll hopefully
so
have some
excited.
announcements by then, right? So
Yeah.
we'll have lots to talk about next week and for the next few weeks with Andor and stuff, right? So exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. But thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see everyone in the next episode.
Forces will give the Jedi his power.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
This is where the fun begins.
This is the way.
This is the way.